Hi, Monica here from Walking the Inner Journey, and welcome to my channel. I extend a warm welcome to anybody who's returning, anybody who's new, and I hope you find this video informative today. So, I was guided over the last few days to do a follow-up to the initial video I made, just basically introducing myself and speaking about authenticity. If you watched that video, and if you didn't, I'll recap. I came without my teeth. And to show the real me, who I am, what I actually, look like without these. And spoke to, being authentic and being okay. Putting myself out there, despite the struggles that I had prior. So today I'm coming with my teeth in. And does that make me now less authentic? Some might say yes, some might say no, but it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. And that's where being authentic comes into play. What matters is what I believe, how I feel about it. So where before, definitely my teeth, was a big issue for me, and I truly identified myself as my teeth and how people were going to view me. And I'm not there anymore. So I don't define my outward appearance as to who I really am. And that's being authentic. I don't worry anymore about what people may or may not think. What matters is what I believe, and stepping into that. So what the guys brought forward was, to remind us first that we are in a planet of duality. So we operate from, we have both light and dark. And what's happened is this separation between what light is and what dark is. So, people have different definitions of what they both look like. And because they're opposites in polarity, people sometimes view them to the extreme. So they're looking at light being all fluffy and wonderful, sparkly, right? And then dark, taking it to the other extreme of being, evil, nasty, whatever. And then just shy of that is then where a lot of us fall into is that shadow aspect of those lower vibrational emotions, and where a lot of us live from. So when we are able at times to kind of get into the light, we have this pressure put upon us that it's got to look a certain way, and it doesn't. That's the thing. We've created this illusionary aspect and perspective of what these things need to look like. What we're meant to be doing is not keeping them separate. And, you get into that energy otherwise of light versus dark, and it's very difficult to try to be authentic when that's going on. What we're meant to be doing is using the light to illuminate the shadow, the dark. Let it rise to the surface. Feel it, own it, process it, work through it, and transform it. But what you notice when we're doing this is they're working together. And that's what we're meant to be doing. That's what we're meant to actually be learning, is to bring them into unison, into that oneness that they are. And removing that separation aspect. Being authentic is our real true self. So all these other things that are illusionary or that we have created through ego, mind, that has been instilled upon us, that we've created. Society has. We've been so conditioned into, learning how to suppress our emotions, hide them away, don't allow yourself to feel alone. And that's what keeps us in this perpetual loop. And our authentic self is always trying to nudge us and guide us out of that. So being real, being authentic, is about allowing yourself to feel exactly what it is that you're feeling. Be it sadness, despair, anger, shame, guilt, whatever. And that usually will come through whether we are triggered by something or we're feeling resistance towards something. Our shadow is a teacher. And when we bring light in, and the love that's attached with that, we see this through a different perspective. So we see that something's, not in balance, it's out of alignment. What am I meant to be learning from this? That's what our shadow is. It's a teacher. Because this, what we're learning, then creates an opportunity for massive growth. Through growth, we evolve, and as we're evolving, we raise our vibrational frequency. It's a win-win. But we've been taught and conditioned that this is detrimental. This, you don't want to go there, because when we're in it, it is. It's hard. It's heavy. It feels icky, right? So that's why we don't want to go there. But it's our ego that is controlling that aspect, and it's those emotions then that we give power to, and that controls us. Rather than mastering our emotions, learning to recognize, acknowledge that, because that's all they want. They want to be acknowledged that they're there, and then find out why they are there. And then when we do that, when we process through, then we're able to release it, transform it, transmute it into something that we do want. But we're seeing all of this shadow, light aspect as, something detrimental or something amazing. But there's no bringing it together, and that's where we've tripped up. So your authentic self is that true divine essence of who you are. It is trying to guide you through this. And I had somebody bring up that I think is really perfect to bring here about they thought the reason they didn't want to really do that inner work, go deep, find out, acknowledge that this is all going on, acknowledging what they're feeling, being real, letting themselves be in that mess, was they didn't know who they were going to be if they let this all go, because this is who they are, and we all have identified as being. Who are you? When all this is being peeled away, you're still you, but without the baggage, without the burdens, without that heaviness. You're still you, but you're now living the best version of you. You're being the best version of you. And you create from places of passion, of worth. That's who you become. That's who we're meant to be. Right? And it's the same, never mind shadow work. It's the same stepping into the light, being that love. Allowing ourselves, when we are having a really amazing day, how much energy are you actually putting to being in that good place? Do you put in the same amount of energy and effort and time into believing how wonderful that is as you do when you're calling yourself a schmuck and I'm not worthy and I'm not this and I'm not that? We don't. if you would apply the same amount of energy that you put when you're feeling down into when you're feeling good, then you start bringing yourself more into balance and more wanting more to feel that good. That's being real, that's being authentic. It's accepting wherever we are at that moment and embracing it and being that. Not denying it, not suppressing it. And the other thing I hear people, speak to is, I wish I hadn't ever started working on all this stuff because all this stuff is coming up and, my life wasn't that bad or that hard before. It might have appeared that way, but that stuff was there and it's manifesting continuously in your outer world. And that's why, we have sometimes good days and some days really suck and things go south in a hurry. And we get triggered and all this, but we refuse to look at it. It's there. It's not that it's not. We're just refusing to look at it. If I don't see it, if I don't look at it, then it's not there. But it is. And you're not living the best life that you could. And you're not being real and you're not being authentic because you're denying the very things that you're meant to be looking at. So if you want to step in, it's even when it's hard, when it's heavy, feel it. Acknowledge it. Own it. Own that that's what's coming up for you. Because when we do that, that's when we can start bringing change in. That's when we can sit with it and go, okay, why is it here? But then we can use the light to help us with that. So the light, is symbolic with love. So when you're coming from a place of love and you're looking at shadow, you're seeing it as opportunity. And there's no judgment. You're being objective. You're standing back, looking at what's going on, allowing yourself to feel the feels, and then processing it. Why is it there? Is it still going to, feel hard going through it? More than likely. But your perspective on it being detrimental is different. You're seeing now as opportunity. And if I work through this, then I can be done with it. I've learned what I needed to learn, and I can move forward. And the more you do it, and the more you practice it, the easier it will become. And yes, there'll be times you're going to slide back a bit and kind of go back down the rabbit hole with it, but you keep at it. Take ownership. Yes, that's what I've done. And instead of berating yourself, feel into that authentic you. What do I need to do? What is the real me telling me I need to do with this? Does this feel right? Does this feel good? No, well then I need to do something here. And if you're unsure what to do, or you're really struggling or stuck, reach out to somebody. There's a lot of people who do this work that you can reach out to. If you are able to connect in with your guides, call them in. Call in your higher self. But you need to ask for the help. So something they kind of brought forward because, we kind of have gotten stuck in the belief that this is our natural state of being, right? And going through these funks and all this and, suppressing and it's our go-tos and, getting triggered by something, spew off and then just pretend that, it's fine. I'll be fine. And then wonder why it keeps coming up. But they showed me 2 kids, little types. And the one was having an amazing day. And just like blissful, happy, so much in wonder, curiosity, joy. It was just like taking the world in. And they were fully in it. They were feeling that feel. They were just like totally in expression of that. And then they showed me this little other kid and having a temper tantrum. And they're laying on the floor and their little feet and hands are going and they're yelling and screaming. And again, though, the impression I was getting is they were embodying the full emotion of what was coming up for them, right? And they were doing it in the moment. So they're having their little fit what I'm seeing as this is happening is almost like these wheels in their mind churning and processing. So they're having this fit, and it's like, but I also see them kind of looking around. Am I getting a reaction? Is somebody paying attention to me? Like, is this working? Is it not? And it was like this process immediately happening at the same time that they're having this fit. So I'm kind of like, I was saying to the guys, like, that's probably not really good to recommend that, if you're having a temper tantrum, to go lay on the floor in front of everybody and do that, because that's not the point. The point is to acknowledge what you're feeling. And kids do that in the moment, right? That you know immediately where little kids at. Because they haven't learned how to hide away from those emotions, right? They don't learn that, no, that's a bad thing. You don't do that. If you're feeling too good or you feel good about yourself, that's too much ego. And if you're feeling really bad or down or sad or angry, and suck it up, right? Those are the things we learn. They haven't learned that yet. So they are fully experiencing what's coming up in that moment, processing it, understanding it, and then they're done. They're able to transmute it, transform it into, what am I doing now? Right? I've learned what I wanted to see. And, that's there, and okay, let's move on. And shortly after, they're off running around, living their best life. They're not taking that with them for a month down the road, right? Because they did it all in that moment. That's our natural state of being. That's what we're meant to be doing. When things come up, we deal with it right then, right there. Allow the emotion. Don't get attached to the emotion. Just feel it. And we attach ourselves to it, and when we identify with it, that's not what it's about. The emotion's there to say this is what you're feeling, but it's not who you are. It's not a definition of you. It's just saying you're out of alignment because something is making you feel this way. And then find out what that something is, right? The other thing they really brought forward was when we're doing this work, when we're trying to be real and authentic, it can be very difficult to do when we're coming from our head, right? When we're doing that from our mind, because our ego mind wants to jump in and feed the narrative of the story that we created. So it's trying to validate, well, you're not worthy and you're not capable of, and why do you think you can do that? What makes you think you're better than anybody else? And because it knows this box that's been created that you're sitting in, and it knows it because it helped create that for you. It was part of it. So it understands it, and it doesn't understand what's outside of that. So it wants to keep you in. So when we're going in, that's why it's so hard and difficult, and we feel all that resistance, because we're coming from here. What they're advising is drop into your heart. Now, that's not always easy to do when you're feeling really low. It's easy to do when we're feeling good. Sure, yeah, I can drop into love in my heart and it feels good. Oh, yeah, I can do that. So how do you get there if you're really down? Because you're going to be resisting dropping in your heart, because that doesn't feed your narrative. I don't want to be in all that, feel good stuff. It doesn't feel compatible with where I'm at. Again, because our misconception of what being in love is, when we're being truly in that place. So the guidance that they're bringing is bring your mind and heart into coherence. And that's how actually our natural state of being is supposed to be. Again, we separate it, being in mind or being in heart, and you can't do that together, but you can. So there's some beautiful heart and mind coherence meditations out there. What they brought forward is sort of like a quick thing you can do, especially if you are really going through high anxiety or overwhelm and you still need to get through your day. Let's say you're at work or you're at a function and you need to bring it down until you can sit with it. So something you can do, and that they do advise us to do prior to doing any inner work, is connect into your heart, your mind into your heart. So if you place your hand, either one, doesn't matter, onto your heart space, right? You can have your eyes open, you can have them closed, doesn't matter. Start connecting to your breath. Just slow, steady breaths. Just breathing in and out. With your hand on your heart, it's directing and helping your mind focus on that heart space. So in your mind, see where your hand is. Direct your gaze down. And as you're breathing, I want you to imagine now that you are breathing into your heart. And you're exhaling through your heart. So as you're breathing in, you're breathing that air into your heart. And then your heart is exhaling it, sending that air throughout your body. Just feel that. Feel your body starting to relax. Feel the tension starting to ease as you keep your breathing slow and steady. Just feeling into that heart energy. And now you're just going to think of something that brings you joy, peace. Something easy. Could be a beautiful sunrise, sunset. Could be, someone in the family. And when you think about them, it makes you smile. Could be a pet, anything. Just get that idea in your mind and feel grateful. Feel that joy when you think of that thing. How grateful you are that you have that. How grateful that you get to experience that. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful place to be in. And as you're doing this and believing and knowing how wonderful this thing is that you're thinking of, you feel more and more tension easing away from your body. And now, I want you just very slowly, but from this place in your heart, feel the anxiety, the overwhelm, whatever emotion is at the forefront. And I want you now to feel gratitude for it. Grateful. Because in this place you see what a wonderful opportunity this is for you to learn and grow and evolve. That it's showing itself to you so that you can bring yourself back into alignment. That by acknowledging that it's there, that it's okay, and that being in your heart and looking at it is a safe place to be. But you're finding as you're looking at it, it doesn't feel as daunting and it doesn't feel as heavy or overwhelming or as anxious feeling. You feel it becoming lighter. And it's from this perspective that you see you are mastering that emotion. It no longer controls you. But you direct yourself now what you want to do with it. And it's from this place within your heart, with your mind functioning through that place of love, that it will bring you clarity. For in this place of the heart is unconditional love and truth. There is no judgment here. And you now can look at what you need to look at with peace in your heart. And just slowly become aware of your breath again. Thank yourself for allowing yourself to be there, to go there. And then bring yourself out. From there, depending, if you're at work or something, you should feel more relaxed. And if you are ready to head into doing inner work, you're in a good place to do it now. So I hope this helped, and that it helps bring some understanding, some clarity to being authentic means to be all things. It's not just about being the light, it's also being in the dark and standing in that, owning that it's there, and knowing that you hold the power to do something about it, but going authentically. Don't go in with denial, suppression. It's not what we're meant to do. And when you are going in, and bringing this back to me very quickly, that when you go in to see why something's going on, don't do what they call, and I love this, surface surfing. Because that's what we do. We surface surf. So that means we're just going in, taking a peek around at the surface aspect, seeing if something will fit as to why we're feeling the way we feel. Because it's easier just checking that top layer. Because this top layer, they say, is a byproduct of what the core issue is. So we might have a lot of byproducts from one core issue. And that's why sometimes when we surface surf and we pluck something out of there and say, well, that's why I feel the way I do, and we work through that, we feel good after, oh, yeah, got through that, awesome, amazing, and then down the road it comes back. And it's like, well, I did that work. Why is that coming back? It's because we didn't go deep enough. So to save yourself some time, when you surface surf, when you think you know what it is that's causing the issue in the first place, go to your authentic self and ask, is there something deeper? If you feel any kind of resistance, pretty much guarantee that there is something deeper. And that's why you don't want to go in any further, because there might be something there that you're not going to want to see. But it's going in deeper into that place where we can then release the burdens, the baggage, all the things that have been holding us back. On that note, I do wish you an amazing day. I send you so much love, and I will talk to you soon.